This may well be the final FaceTime live for today. I'm currently right here outside Buckingham Palace, and obviously this is a truly momentous time. People are, there's a lot of people around the place. And there's a lot of people around the place, but this is probably nothing compared to what's about to come later this week when the procession comes down. So for those who aren't familiar or haven't been here yet, this is the seat of the throne. This is once the seat of the empire. It's still the seat of the British Commonwealth, which I believe has got 52 or 53 member nations. It's phenomenal. 14 countries out there, 14 different countries where the Queen is their head of state. But you don't want to see me, you want to see Buckingham Palace. So up here, we've got the royal crests, and I've got no specific historical information, but I can make some up along the way. The flag isn't flying at half-mast. You can see the flag up there. Can you see the flag there? So the flag isn't flying at half-mast. I don't know why. Maybe there's some royalists. There's a guy here who's trying a bit of an act to get his photo. Oh my gosh. It's like that Darwin's law with people doing their selfies, but hopefully he'll be okay. Now, let's take a look out here. There are mythical creatures. For those who are fans of unicorns, there is a unicorn perched atop the pillar on its way into Buckingham Palace. These things are not just for Hogwarts, for the Harry Potter fans out there. You can see, we've got... So can you see, and you know, S-I-R-I, she thought I was calling her into action, which is why the phone went blank there for a second. So you can see up here is a unicorn. Let's actually do a little... Yeah. All right, there we go. And this is it. This is Buckingham Palace in all its glory. And it's amazing seeing all of these people. There's a few thousand people around here at the moment. We took this long walk around. So you see over here, that leads towards Trafalgar Square and Admiralty Arch. And what they currently, should we take a look up here? If you happen to know, hey Francesca, if you happen to know any of the specific facts around here, then please feel to put the historical facts. In the meantime, if it was a normal day, I would just make stuff up, but I'm not going to make stuff up here because this is not about entertainment. Well, this is history. This is history right now. So this is the roundabout just outside Buckingham Palace. And for those who are going to be watching the procession, which I believe must be later this week, when the Queen in her coffin, the late Queen, God rest her soul, in her coffin is going to be taken up the Mall, they will certainly be going past Buckingham Palace. At the moment, I think today, the body was being taken, the coffin was being taken from Balmoral in Scotland across to Edinburgh. And we're going to pass all these royal places. And just look at the grandeur of this. The Doric columns. This is here in the centre of London. Behind is Victoria Park. Green Park is nearby. Men, women, boys, girls, dogs, cats, other stuff. People are here. Many different people are here. Anthony, so, hi, Marcus. Sorry, what's your name?
Anthony.
Oh, Anthony, hi.
From London.
You're from London. You're from London. Okay, awesome.
Good to see the Queen.
So, Anthony, I saw the Queen recently, Elton John, Watford. But tell me, what is the true Queen? What does the Queen mean to you? Queen Elizabeth.
I think we took for granted that she was always there, and she was all we knew our whole lives, and maybe a life lesson for all of us there.
What's the life lesson?
Good question.
What's the secret? Let's make our
constant, and yeah, and I think we maybe took for granted what she was doing in the background there, and yeah,
but maybe that's it. I think that's an interesting point. Like the idea of being a constant presence,
right.
being there regularly, like sort of year in, year out, actually be able to hold in that space in friendships and relationships. We met in, well, let's not say the year. We met in September. No, yes, 11. We met in September. No, 10. Whatever. We met in September 1986. 86. Okay, so what? That's like 20 years ago, 10 years ago. Not good at maths. All right, so let's take a look. Should we walk further around? Okay, so let's take a look. We're going to get further in to Buckingham Palace. I want to go right up to the gates. The sun is setting here, Well, some may have said, but you wouldn't know from all of the people around here. It's definitely very busy. Sunset 10 minutes ago. It's quite amazing as well seeing all of the floral tributes that are around. I mean, they're beginning to pile up. There's still a long way to go. I mean, this is what we're only on Sunday at this point. As the week goes on, the the flowers are going to get higher and higher. Over at in Kensington, when Princess Diana died, was it Kensington Palace? I don't know. We're going to need someone will dial in with this specific information. When Princess Diana died, they were just piling up layers upon layers of flowers. This is going to be here. So here, let's take a look at the royal crest. Now these are the gates which would allow you in to Buckingham Palace. And then directly opposite, if we just pan around to get a bit more of an idea, you've got the statue here. And all of these different people here, right the way around. Okay. And on we go. On we go? Okay. Hey, if you're watching this, and if you can hear, could you maybe write one down, write something in? Hey, Avi, welcome. Hey, Avi, I'm sure you're in some interesting part of the land. Can you write down one thing in the chat box below that you like about the Queen, or you like about the royal family? Oh, there's a guy selling flags. I like that. Commerce, staying on it. What's one thing that you like about Great Britain and monarchy? And I'm going to refrain from making any jokes here. Okay, we've got something here. I can't quite read it. Francesca, she's an incredible role model for our young people. Traditional stiff upper lip and loyalty and kindness, integrity, strength. See more. Incredible strength, determination. God rest the Queen. Amen. Very, very well said, Francesca. Thank you for that. Let's see. So if you're just tuning in, I'd be interested to hear other things that you think are impressive or meaningful that the Queen stood for. I was saying a little bit earlier, it's still very strange. I was writing a column for the Jewish Journal today, and wanted to talk about a perspective as an Englishman who's lived in America, as an Englishman who's also Jewish and has lived in America and is back here. Like all these different parts of our identity, we are composite of different parts of our identity, and then what it means having that relationship to a monarch, to a queen. And as I was typing the article, I kept writing Prince Charles, and then I kind of caught it and then wrote King Charles. And I found, even now, some 3 days in, I almost feel like crying a little bit. Oh gosh, we're gonna quote Avi in a second. I see you're in here, but so basically, sort of feeling this depth of emotion, this depth of connection, and this depth of feeling patriotic. Okay, Avi said she had class, but as an American, I can take or leave the monarchy part unless it's symbolic, like you guys case. All right, fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough. Look, I mean, there is still obviously a tremendous controversy with the majority of English people and the Republicans, not the American Republican Party, but those who would like to turn it into Republican, overthrow the monarchy. And so there's this continued question of why do we have a royal family? Can we justify a royal family? And some people say, well, actually, an argument in favour would be they bring in. Oh, let me just stop. I'm just going to pause for 1 second. Now, you see here, ER. So it says E. It's actually got E2R, which is Elizabeth Regina or Elizabeth II. So at some point, these are going to have to change to CR. Now, my sister, I think someone said you could just like take that little bit out and then you've got a C. But it's not just the stamps or the money that's going to be changed or what's written on our passports as we're subject to the Queen, now we're subject to the King. But even small little things here. So I don't know how soon, and they're all around here. If we just sort of take a look, they're here. They're here. And it's such that this is really built into the fabric of our nation. It's written everywhere. Thank you, Avi. Fully aware of what she symbolized to you guys, so my sympathies. Thank you, Avi. And so it's very, very strange. As I say, I'd only seen the Queen once in person. It was here at Buckingham Palace. I was in for one of the royal garden parties where you're able to go in and you're able to have tea and biscuits, scones, muffins, and walk around the gardens and enjoy it. And even though the Queen was maybe, I don't know, 50 feet away, 60 feet away, something like that, 100 feet away, just seeing her in person was a special, symbolic moment, and certainly something I'll remember. But then there are the other aspects of being in Britain and being a subject of the Queen, and being subject to that monarchy. And so I remember in 1984, I think was it 84, 83, when, no, maybe it's 82, when Charles and Diana got married. We had and someone will correct me, we had a garden party, a street party. And so our street was cut off, and they painted a white line outside our house and a white line further down, so that we could have egg and spoon races or three-legged races. And there's all the flags, the bunting, which goes up with Charles and Diana's face. And it was a genuine celebration, and all the commemorative mugs and the commemorative plates and so on. Okay, I'm just going to pause that. We've actually just got here. We're at the side of Buckingham Palace, and we can see right the way through the gate. So this is really cool. So what we're looking at here is Buckingham Palace. There's a plane going over. That's going to be heading towards Heathrow Airport. It's going in the direction of Heathrow. And let's see, we're sort of going through the gates here. So these are going to be barracks towards the side. And in the centre of Buckingham Palace, there is a courtyard within. So this is a sort of square grounds. And then at the back of Buckingham Palace, there are huge gardens, tremendous gardens. You can see if you go on Google Earth, just type in Buckingham Palace. And this is it. Okay, and so here's my friend Anthony taking photos. You can see right the way along, there are flowers and these floral tributes. Now, there's quite a few of these floral tributes, but as the week goes on, there are going to be many, many, many more. So in a moment, we're going to leave Buckingham Palace. We're good to go on?
Yeah,
okay.
let's do this.
All right. So we're going to keep going. We'll say farewell, shalom to Buckingham Palace. And if you're in London, yeah, it's a wild time just to come and see it. I mean, 70, how many years on the throne was it? 70, yeah, she just hit her diamond jubilee. I mean, it's kind of, oh my gosh, a platinum jubilee. She's hit, hey, Mariah, welcome back. So she just hit her platinum jubilee. I mean, the length of her reign was longer than many people's marriages, longer than many people's lives. And just the very concept, yeah, so the very, very concept that she was actually able to work up until 2 days before her death. I mean, 2 days before her death. At the age of 25, I mean, I think what I was doing at the age of 25, I had long hair and was bouncing around acting and leaping on the stage and getting into trouble and upsetting people and delighting others. Who the hell knows? I mean, what were you doing at 25 years old? Do you remember when you were 25? Do you remember when you just tried 25? Hi there, JK. It's time for a Jewish king in Britain. I don't know. It's everything will be as it's meant to be. There is the whole question. Anyway, so at the age of 25, that's when she became queen, and she gave this talk about, thanks, Anne. She gave this talk about how she was basically surrendering herself. How I'm going to go on the other side. Okay, she gave this talk about, yeah, that's perfect. She gave this talk about how she was surrendering herself to the will of the nation, or she was surrendering herself to the work of the nation. I want to thank Anne, who's holding the light here. Yeah, you're on. So at the age of 25, she handed herself over. She said, like, this is my life. And then right through to her dying day, she was working. And so there's this whole question of like, well, okay, on the one hand, there's tremendous privilege, massive privilege, tremendous wealth, which some say, well, they don't have to work for. On the other hand, they certainly are working for it. And it's clearly not easy, as Prince Harry has shown. It's not easy. It's not easy being in part of the royal family. And so there is, I'm saying this within the context, within the conversation of, do we need a royal family? Don't we need a royal family? One thing we do see is that, okay, sure, we're paying taxes, it's going towards them. On the other hand, they're working for us. And they're representing us, and they're giving a sense of continuity. And I think what's sort of so difficult for so many people, difficult or at least challenging, or at least what pulls on the heartstrings, is we have an identity, and at the very core of our identity, it's now shifting. And some might say, well, it's an English thing, it's a Christian thing, fine. I don't know, from a biblical perspective, like even then, a shift from one king to another, from King Saul to King David, from King David to King Solomon, from King Solomon to his son Rehoboam, there's like these books upon kings, kings upon kings upon kings. Are you okay holding the light, or shall I hold it up?
I feel like I'm going to fall.
Oh, okay,
It's fine.
okay. So,
To go over.
why not hold it?
Yeah. If you want to.
Where are we walking to? I'm still with that. We're still getting strong. So, I want to quote a bit of Shakespeare, because it's always good to focus on Shakespeare. Okay, sure, okay. So with Shakespeare, the role of kingship is really central. You've got the history cycle, so the series of interlocking plays. It's like a sequel. Like it's there's actually more history. There's actually, I think, more history plays than there are Spider-Man reboots and franchises at the moment. So that in itself is impressive. So you have Richard II, who ends up going to the Tower, and in Richard II, he says this phrase. I might do the monologue at some other point. Let us sit upon the ground and tell sad tales of the death of kings. Telling sad tales of the death of kings, and he talks about this hollow crown, for good and for bad. He gets deposed, and then in his place takes over Henry of Bolingbroke, and then Henry of Bolingbroke becomes Henry the Fourth. So he gets two plays, Henry IV, Part 1 and Part 2. Then his son, Prince Hal, the wayward Prince Harry, he goes from being the playboy to getting full dignity. So the young Prince Hal, as he is Prince Harry, he goes from being a complete playboy to full dignity. And so that's Henry V. Then you get Henry VI, three parts of that, and that's basically two houses, the Yorks and the Lancasters. And Henry VI is the play which is the basis for the Game of Thrones, because it's about the North and the South. And you have the two houses, the York and the Lancasters, which may sound very similar to the House of Stark. For example, the House of York becomes the House of Stark when Henry VI turns into Game of Thrones. And then finally, at the end of that, you've got Richard III. So Richard III, hello. Richard, are we going through here? All right, we're going through here. We're going to see some more floral tributes here. So actually, no. So then Richard II, Richard III, my horse, a kingdom for a horse. And it was Henry IV where the phrase uneasy is the head that wears the crown. So uneasy is the head that wears the crown, because being king, being queen is not an easy task. Now we're going to switch. We're going to look here. I'm now in an area just to the side of I'm just to the side of Buckingham Palace, and there are a remarkable amount of floral tributes which have been laid here. I think we'll go to the sunny area, or not to the sunny area. Going to go to the area that's a bit more light over here, and there's a bit more brightness in this direction. So we're going to go to the lightness, and we're going to begin to see, and as the week goes on, these are going to pile up more and more. So let's just do a little twist. Okay, so if you can see here, there's some candles burning over there. They're like Yortzeit candles. We've got some beautifully laid out wreaths right the way around here. Hello, Chris La La Land. Now these have been laid out really nicely. The grass is growing. There's a couple of balloons over there, a red heart and a blue bubbles balloon. There's some flashing lights. Should I take over here?
What's that?
Okay, I'll take it. There's some flashing lights. If you're just tuning in, we're near Buckingham Palace, where we can see over here to our nation's mum, Nan, and great Nan. We thank you, we love you, and we will miss you. May you rest in peace and rise in glory. God bless. Our Queen, R.I.P. Mom. There's another photo. Let's come and see some more. And here's a good one. This is a sweet one over here. Okay, it says, the grandmother of the nation. The grandmother of the nation. Hello, mother. My mum's just tuned in. Okay, let's see what this note says. You've been with us for our whole lives. Your constant presence, kindness and wisdom meant we felt safe. You are part of us forever, and we will miss you. Lots of love from Juliet, Joe, Alessandra, and Findley. So, still looking around all these beautiful floral tributes here, and just seeing how how they've been laid. I mean, it kind of goes on. There's more and more you can see here. In this whole area, there's something sort of very stately and very majestic about it. No puns intended. And there is the question of, well, how do you mourn like this? Hi, Anna, who's just tuning in. So looking at this national mourning, which I don't know if it's a very English mourning. Certainly, I mean, I don't know how you have something similar in any other country. And what's amazing is, well, what we're seeing, the scenes we're seeing here of thousands, tens and tens of thousands of floral bouquets over this time. Well, a similar scene may be happening in other countries, and we're beginning to see this on the news. Beginning to see whether it's Australia or Canada or New Zealand or any of the other countries which have the Queen as head of state, or the countries in the Commonwealth who don't have the Queen as head of state, but are still protectorates or realms or dominions. If you look on Wikipedia, it's quite amazing how many countries are still in the British Commonwealth. Rwanda was the most recent one. I think it's the early 2010, something like that. And there's over here we've got someone who's going on camera. They've got a big camera crew. All right, well, hey, we're not going to focus on their camera. We'll look at our camera. Okay, so let's look at some more notes over here, some more things which are here. Okay, long live the Queen, and a long life to you, and a long life you did live. Throughout your reign, you gave peace and happiness, so much happiness and courage to so many. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Our heartfelt condolences. We would like to send our heartfelt condolences to Your Majesty, King Charles III, Queen Consort Camilla, and the whole of the royal family. It was the saddening loss of the most devoted and cherished Her Majesty the Queen, who brought the greatness of duty to this country, with endless contributions made, with a lifetime achievement of 70 plus years as the nation's and the whole world's high admirable monarch. Beautiful. Hey, Anna, a pleasure. We're here from the front line. I was going to say 24 hours a day, 6 days a week. Hey there. Hi, everyone. Can you wave to the camera? Hi. All right. Okay, I'm taking it. And where are we going next? Down here?
I think over there.
Okay, over there. All right. Yeah, so Anne's a professional photographer. AAAphotography.co.uk. Is it AAAphotography.co.uk? And she's actually been this morning. Can you say where you were this morning?
Oh, I've been to Windsor.
He's been to Windsor. Are you always big Okay, so hi there. Oh, sure. Okay, pleasure. A pleasure. Hang on. Hi there. Yeah. They've asked me to write their TikTok account. What's your name? Azara. I'm Marcus. Nice to meet you, Azara. I can't find my. Do you want me to take a picture? Oh, what, are we going to do a TikTok dance? Are we all going to do a dance together? I'm not. Oh, it's in English, so I'm not. Oh, there you go. There you go. That's me. Okay. So I press that button. I press red. Okay. All right. And we're taking a photo. Okay. So we'll just see it here. Okay. Here you go. There's your phone. Thank you. And let's all wave. And can you hold the camera? Just hold this way. Yeah. Okay. And now let's all wait for the camera. Hi. And why don't we say "God save the King" on 3? 1, 2, 3. God save the King. Nice meeting you all. Okay, take care. I didn't understand what they were writing because it was in Arabic, but that's pretty beautiful. Okay, that's lovely. Hi there. No. Okay, let's see some more. We're going to look at some more tributes. I'm going to take you to a few more tributes here. Okay, this is beautiful. Our hearts are broken. Daily Mail front cover. Won't ask what they're putting in the Guardian. So this is tree after tree after tree right the way around this area. And this is just to the right of Buckingham Palace. I'm not sure if someone knows what it is. Hey, Charlie Carnell. We are here in London, sending out the big word to Los Angeles and beyond. So this is the side of Buckingham Palace. This is interesting. Over here, There's a dark Union Jack. I'm not sure what that is, if that has an esoteric, obtuse meaning to it, but nonetheless. So there are still thousands of people here. It's now, we're approaching 7 p.m. on Sunday night, and just sort of 3 days into the Queen's passing at this point. And I don't know how they're counting the days of mourning. We've got, hi Danielle, Shalom Israel. Hi Zev, Shalom Los Angeles. We're taking this walk around, and there's the 10 days of mourning, which includes 7 days of mourning that follow the interment of the Queen. And this is sort of early days right now. So we saw along the Mall from Admiralty Arch through to Buckingham Palace, there were roses, there were people, they're starting to put the barricades up. I imagine that nearer the time of the funeral procession, there are going to be people camping out as they do. 8 p.m. It's 8 p.m., Anna. Is it? Oh, you're right. It's 8 p.m. Thank you. I don't know. Time flies. Here we go. There's a lot more. I'm going to turn these around. Let's read some of the tributes as we go through. And this whole area is being floodlit. I will gently lift a card before putting it back down. Okay. Let's see what this says. Okay. Dear Mum of all the world, thank you for spending your life leading, guiding, and welcoming. You may have been the Queen of England, but you were a maternal force and light to all of us. May you now be cared for with the angels as you so cared for others. Rest in heavenly peace. Amo Morgano, Pittsburgh, PA, USA. Okay, now that was random. They say this is coming from Pittsburgh. Was that? I think that was one of the colonies. Best if we don't speak to. Pittsburgh was a colony, right? The old Freedom Bell in Philly nearby. All right, so here we go. Let's just look at this. I think this is quite amazing. Hi, Joshua London. Okay, now this is interesting. This is beautiful. So let's take a look here at this particular book. Hey, just got a quick question, Joshua, I know can you hear me okay? If you can sort of give a thumbs up, we got a like. Okay, just want to check you can hear. So let's have a look at this book. And do you mind stepping back from the law? Oh no, never mind. Okay, so we've got this book from Oaks Primary Academy, which remembers Her Majesty the Queen. So let's take a look inside and see what it has here. So Blackbird class, it says, from all the staff and students of Oaks Primary Academy, which is in Maidstone in Kent. And so Blackbird class, so I'm guessing, well, they must be 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old. And they've got these beautiful little letters, beautiful letters have been written. There's something from the Sparrow class here. So from Oaks Meadow Primary School out in Kent. From the Chaffinch class, they've done lovely little drawings here. And these are heartfelt. And you know, this is very interesting in itself. I'll say why in a second. Kingfisher class. Oh, that's it. They've done the Queen like in the shape of England to some extent. Okay. And the Woodpecker class. Now, what I think, thanks Josh, what I find significant about this is this book over here, it's from a primary school in England. How when you're brought up with the royal family, you're taught to sing the national anthem. But from their perspective, so let's say those kids are 4, 5, 6 years old, and then they're going to remember over the years, okay, I remember when the Queen died and King Charles took over. And for most of them, they're going to grow up only knowing kings. And we know that for sure. Why do we know that? Because right now it's King Charles, then it's going to be his son, King William, next in line, and then it's going to be his son, King George, is the next one in line, unless, God forbid, a million times something happened bad and King Harry and Queen Meghan went to the throne. But, okay. But they're going to remember this. And I remember when I was younger, when Princess Diana and Prince Charles got married, and we had the street party, and we had that pageantry around us. And then, you know, consequently seeing it all go to mess, shall we say. So it's just powerful to see and how people are processing their grief in different ways. So let's see a couple more of these over here. I know the light's getting a bit low. So there's a nice Union Jack. The Union Jack's an interesting flag made up of the St George's Cross, the red on the white, which is the cross of the English flag, and you've got the Scottish flag, the blue there, Welsh and Northern Irish mixed in. And here we've got many more. There's a little flashing light over there. Okay, let's take a look back. It's interesting as well seeing how people come to mourn together. Should we go over there? It's interesting seeing how people come along to mourn together and how people process their grief in different ways. I think one of the reasons that I was drawn to come here along with my dear friend Anthony was because at a time of grief, it's a lot easier to be with other people. Yes, there was a sense of tourism. Yes, there was a sense of, hey, I want to see what's going on. But there's something very powerful about being together. This is certainly why in Jewish law, in Jewish tradition, when someone dies, the family, those who are sitting shiva, they sit for 7 days. People, they literally shiva means they have to sit down, sit their bums down, and the doors are basically open for other people to come in and feed them. So we mourn together, alone but together. So let's look at a few more of these. We've got some better light. For those who saw the amazing, wonderful Paddington Bear tribute with the Queen, this is clearly the sketch that she did for the Jubilee recently. Your Majesty, Queen Elizabeth, you were a wonderful woman, Queen, mother, sister, and grandmother. You were an empowered woman who taught others to be empowered too. From Colombia and to the UK, we say goodbye. Isabel Martin, Angeles Fuentes, and Philip Comon. There we go. Love the Queen. We've got some more here. Let's look at a few more of these tributes as we're going through. I think it's very moving to see what people have said here. Your Majesty, you have been the bedrock of this society for so much for the last 70 years and faithfully kept your promise to serve your country and Commonwealth. God bless you, Mum, and rest in peace. And one thing this makes me think of, or the question makes me write, the question that comes to mind is, can I do the same? Can I do that sense of lifelong service? Like that giving over of oneself in what we could call in the Hebrew bittul, just this making oneself nothing, creating that space to give. And I'm sure you've seen the photos where the Queen was with Prime Minister Liz Truss. She appointed, or she did the official handover to the new Prime Minister. She approved the new Prime Minister. And there was 2 days before she died. She was standing there, standing up, and apparently Queen was very particular about not being shown in a sense of weakness. I understand. But she didn't want to be shown in a wheelchair. So while she looked very, very frail in that last photo, she had a walking stick. At the same time, she wasn't in a wheelchair. She wanted to do everything she could to look as strong as she possibly could. And on the one hand, someone could say, well, someone's just trying to look good for the game. But one thing it did, and this is the important thing, I think, from a British perspective, is she wanted to show strength for the sake of the nation, to keep putting out that strength, to help inspire people to stay strong, particularly now. We are in crazy, crazy time, and the world appears to be getting crazier. And one thing we've noticed more and more throughout this is with these different comments, people sort of say, thank you for being there. Thank you for continually being there. Let's just have a look at another couple of cards as people are going, okay, hey, that's all good. All right, so let's sort of see what they say. We're going to pick a random card here. Okay, so this says, it's the same one you picked, isn't it? You picked the same one. Okay. Dear Mum, you did what no other will ever do. You were my monarch my entire life. Thank you for everything. I'm so sorry for your family's loss. May you rest in peace and rise in glory. May you rest in peace and rise in glory. Amen. All right, let's look at some more. Hello there. Okay, I think there's something too, just going around reading, proclaiming the cards out loud. Okay. With fondest warm wishes, rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth. Thank you for your service, the Heron family. Right, let's look. There's a lot more over here. Should we read some more cards? Let's read some more cards. Why not? You know what? They've written it. Okay, this is interesting. Can we get some light? Oh, well, we should have, we should. Anthony's here. Anthony's putting the light on. Anthony's. It's not okay. So let's pick up some cards. Let's see what the cards say. Can you give us a little bit of light on that, please? Okay. Okay. Super. So I've just picked up one. Is in Italian. Per cos'ero una simpatica vecchietto. La nonna un po' di tutti. Che rimpieva di meme le nostre conversazioni e di battute i nostri saluti. Regali, ma probabilmente era noto molto più di questo. Come lo sono tutti i nonni da Crioni. Riposi in pace, Soa Mastissa, Andrea e Valentina. As you know, I'm completely fluent in Italian. Actually, the only Italian I can say is quanto è alto il trampolino, which means how high is the diving board. Always helpful. All right, let's look at another one here. Oh, this is nice. See, it's interesting seeing the younger handwriting. To our dearest Queen, Your Majesty, you'll be sadly missed. Thank you for everything and loyal duty. You will never be matched. Forever in our hearts, lots of love, Hannah, John, and baby Hayden, Sophia, 2022. So I'll put this back here where we found it. Very nice. And let's look at some more. Hey, we can take, I don't know what the light's going to be. Should we just, okay. Okay, we've got more. Let's pick a light area. Have we been over there? Oh, we've done that. Let's walk around. Okay. Hey, Simon. Hi, Daniel. So we're here just very close to Buckingham Palace. We're maybe a quarter of a mile from Buckingham Palace. We did the whole walk. We had the whole walk around Buckingham Palace. I think we could actually use this as a backdrop. So we're near Buckingham Palace. There are trees. There are hundreds, well, actually thousands at this point, thousands of people, but also thousands of floral tributes. People have been leaving their vases of the bunches of flowers. The various bunches are here, and the whole thing's been laid out in a very neat, orderly way. So behind me, you can see like a lot of different people. And it's dark now. It's now, 8:10 at night on a Sunday night here in central London. The wind is going. It's quite majestic, isn't it? The Union Jack. And so I'm staying away from politics. This is really a time of unity where the country comes together. So let's look and we'll see a few more of the tributes here. Anne's going to take a photo. All right. Keep broadcasting. Okay. Well, look, there is obviously controversy around the British flag, around the Union Jack. There is controversy over how the British Empire came together. And
Ready? 3, 2, 1, done it.
One thing which I think is important to see is, okay, every nation's done bad stuff in the past, and every nation has its own history, and no empires were built without probably a large amount of wrongdoing. But what's very interesting is that the royal family is tremendously aware that they are there for the people, and most importantly, that they can only exist because the people allow them to exist. So, for example, let's say a hypothetical, someone runs on an anti-royalist platform as a politician. They say, we're going to have a Republican Party over here. And as a Republican Party, they might say, right, we're going to get rid of the monarch, and we get rid of the monarchy completely. So let's say the whole of Parliament came together and voted them out. Well, in principle, that could be the end of it. But the question is, well, what do we get from being part of a royal family? And if myself, there is a sense of unity, there is the sense of coming together. We really feel this together at this point, that the British people are coming together. And it's an incredibly, incredibly diverse nation. I mean, right now, in terms of the top 3 positions of government, there's no white man. There's no Caucasian male at the top of the tree, because we've got Liz Truss and Chancellor and so on. And so it is a diverse nation. And yes, it can always sort of keep doing more, but it's in a very powerful state. So hence this amount of love for the Queen, the amount of different people from different nations who now live in England. We do see that sense of broad inclusion. Okay, let's see some more of these. So Oh, look at that, a corgi. Okay, so one of the Queen's corgis, someone's made a nice thing here. Let's have a look here. We go. Okay, just waiting for someone here. Let's see what this says. If you live to be 100, I want to be. If you live to be 100, I want to live to be 100 minus 1 day, so I never have to live without you. Emil Winnie the Pooh. You will be dearly missed. Love, Adrian and Maria. R.I.P. dear Queen. Together now with your beloved Philip. A heartless thank you, a heartfelt thank you to Her Majesty the Queen for the extraordinary contributions. It will put that down here. Excuse my tiredness. Someone's written something. Jill Freed, oh, that'd be my mother. We once tried a republic with Oliver Cromwell. What happened? He started acting and dressing like the monarch. QED, my brilliant mother. Okay, yeah, yeah. You listen, see my mother's post. Okay, so clearly that I'm happy. Oh, this was a sweet one. And make sure if you haven't seen the whole platinum, um, the platinum sketch the Queen Mother did with Winnie the Pooh, it's worth checking out. All right, let's see this. God save our Queen. Thank you for your service. 21st of April, 1926 to 8th of September, 2010. To Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and you've got the Queen with Winnie the Pooh. Oh my gosh, look at that little corgis. Now there's toy corgis here. This is beautiful. Isn't that lovely? What we hear over and over again is this thank you. Many, many thank yous. Maybe we should say hellos. I don't know, could start doing interviews, everyone's doing their own thing. I thought that was a corgi. Chance would be a fine thing. There are a lot of flowers here. And there we go. Oh, this is a good one. Here's another school. See, the schools are all showing up. So from class 25, class 2S, Holy Trinity School in Wimbledon. Let's keep, I've actually completely lost direction. Is that the way forwards? Okay, why don't we just, we're gonna walk out. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens over the next few days. So, or next few months rather. Question is, the, the, the family, the royal family there, at one might say the behest of the people. Like we're not in a place anymore where they're ruling us. We have a choice how it's going to happen. And we've seen in recent times when the Queen's income was actually replaced with hey Andy Seltzer, when the Queen's income was replaced with the sovereign grant. So when the Queen said she was going to start paying taxes, we're going to lose the light. You know what? Let's go back into the light. I'm going to say a few more words, then we will sign off this Facebook Live. So the Queen, as I was saying, the crown of there at the behest of the people, and there's obviously a lot of dissatisfaction with what's happened recently. You know, senior members of the royal family no longer being senior members of the royal family. You know who I'm talking about. I won't go into names at this particular point. But the question is, what is this new monarchy going to look like? William and Kate are now no longer the Duke and Duchess of Cornwall and of Cambridge and Cornwall, but they're now the Prince and Princess of Wales. It's the first time there's been a Princess of Wales since Princess Diana. And so the question is going to be, how is it going to be different this time? Because that is not a light title someone takes on in any way. Prince William's wife is now the Princess of Wales, and the last person was his mother who held that title. We know that there's going to be a biography coming out from Prince Harry unless he's having the good sense to cancel it, but it probably will be out. We saw yesterday how Prince Harry and Meghan and Prince William and Princess Kate were all walking together, which was great PR. They looked happy together, they put it on for the crowds, but what's going to happen next? I want to share a Jewish insight here, a Kabbalistic insight. So we're in the month of Elul, which leads towards Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year. And there is a rabbinic tale, a midrash, which says that the king is in the field right now. As in, God is in the field, God is much more accessible at this time, regardless of your religion. This is the point when spirituality, this month, spirituality, the opportunity for elevation is much closer, much more accessible for everyone. And it's like God is kind of out there walking around, like amongst us. Now, lahavdil, which is something we say to separate on a more mortal level, King Charles, not God, King Charles, oh my gosh, it's still strange saying it. King Charles and Queen Consort Camilla were outside Buckingham Palace walking around, seeing people, being more readily available. And we're seeing this opportunity for connection. And so we're going to see what the monarchy looks like. I suspect it's primarily going to be King Charles and Queen Camilla and Prince and Princess of Wales, who are going to be really at the forefront, where everyone else is more likely to be faded out. So at this point, we're coming together as a nation, we're coming together as a world. There are tributes from all of the countries in the British Commonwealth, all 52, 53, there's a lot of them, 51 of them. We're seeing this point of intensified mourning. On our Jewish spiritual side, we've got this point of intensified coming together and wishing condolences to the Crown, condolences to King, Queen, Prince and Princess of Wales, and all of the royal family. Wishing you a powerful, powerful year ahead. L'chaim. And for the Queen, Her Majesty the Queen, thank you for all you've done, Baruch Dayan Emet. And the last thing I will say, this is like a Jewish goodbye. The last thing I'll say is this: there is a blessing which the rabbis put in, it's from the Talmud, to be said overseeing a king or queen of other nations. So I've only once had the opportunity to say that blessing when I went to this garden party at the palace. I was one of hundreds of people. And the blessing is, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, blessed be you, God, ruler of the earth, who bestows grace, michvodah, puts his grace on basar v'dam, on human beings, who gives this glory to human beings. So may all of us find that inner king, inner queen, be noble like the Queen was, and be able to walk this earth with a sense of grace, dignity, and bringing peace with every step that we take. Shalom. God save the King.